Hello and welcome to the Questionable Album Club, the podcast where this beautiful panel of music fans we attempt to blow the dust off some of rock's curios, failures, and generally perceived missteps. Although today is not that. Today we're doing one of our specials. We've done specials before. We did one on Back to the Beginning, the Black Sabbath final concert thing at Villa Park. We did we did a a Christmas novelty hits one, and we've done another novelty one, another special.
I think that was it.
That's
Just
it.
two
Yeah.
special. Okay, this is our third special, and today's special. It's a very questionable album club way of doing it because there's no new James Bond film. In fact, there isn't even a James Bond currently. We're doing a question album club on James Bond themes. So, sort of 60 years, 1962, Doctor No. So, we're going to talk about James Bond themes, John Barry, David Arnold, the whole history of the James Bond music, which I'm sure we all grew up with. We have favourites and non-favourites, so that's what we're going to talk about today. On the panel today, we've got Marcus Kingwell. Hello, Marcus.
Hello, everybody.
We've got Steve Gibson. Hi, Steve.
Good evening.
We've got Ross English. Hi, Ross.
Good evening, everybody.
We've got Steve Hackett.
Just disappeared, but I'll come back.
That was the perfect hello, Steve.
Love
And
it.
my name is Seb Hunter. Uh, it's funny, isn't it? Listen, did anybody? The great thing about all this stuff is, I don't know how everyone listens to this, but if you go onto Spotify, you put in James Bond playlist, you've got all of the songs chronologically listed. I don't know if everyone kind of had a listen to them all.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny, isn't it? Kind of, there's a point where it all sort of stops, where it's like, oh, I don't know anything really beyond that. You know. Marcus, what do you want to talk about? Give us your.
Yeah. Well, as usual, I'll do a bit of a rambling overview without giving too much away, 'cause that seems to be the tradition on this podcast.
But not tonight, though.
Well, how long have I got? You said 30 to 35 to 40 minutes. Was that my slot, Steve?
That's how long you've got, Marcus. Yeah.
Take it away.
Brilliant. Right. Okay. Well, sit back, settle in. There's obviously the classics for about probably 15 or 18 years, which are sort of big band based, and they're big band belters and bangers, which I suspect will be top of the list for most people. The kind of Shirley Bassey's and Tom Jones and all those sorts of things. And then you've got when Timothy Dalton comes along, you get straight pop songs put in, like really straight, View to a Kill, Aha, stuff like that have no kind of connection. And then you get into Act Three, which is where they get kind of pop artists, but they throw in little bits of Bond stuff in the middle, Bond musical tropes and cliches, this little descending notes, that funny chord they always do, a bit of strings. So, which is a kind of like a pastiche on its, well, it's a pastiche, isn't it?
A pastiche of its own genre. Yeah,
It's
quite.
a pastiche of its own genre. It's getting a little bit of a spiral there, and I think this is also kind of when they tried to make Bond serious again. The
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Thank you very much. Yeah, the Daniel Craig era, where it's trying to compete with all the new sort of tough guy spy things out of the US. It's trying to elevate itself. So they've got a little bit of retro and a little bit of modern muddled up. But for me, we're doing the two favourites, aren't we? I think
So,
I've come straight in.
Marcus, I just want to the rules of today's show. Everyone's got to choose their favourite, a runner-up, and an absolute dog that they really can't bear. Their least favourite. So I suppose what I'm asking you is, and I understand it, right? We're all of a certain age. It'd be a surprise if any of us, I suppose, chose any of the Daniel Craig era, which is sort of like brassy orchestral with a kind of fashionable pop singer like Billie Eilish or let me just check. Adele, people like that, Sam Smith, and then you're right. You've got the kind of 80s, and you've got the early 80s kind of Sheena Easton stuff, and then you've got the kind of orchestral shit. Yeah, yeah. I'm just repeating what you said, Marcus. So,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm
so
glad
yeah.
I
So
got it
where
right
do
for
you
you.
choose where to, or the really really early stuff? The early 60s. Ding 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 ding.
Well,
Go
that
full track.
is a perfect introduction to my favourite Bond theme of all time, which is the original Bond theme, John Barry. It's the bit where they normally after the normal music, it comes in when it's gone through that kind of circle thing, and he shoots you at the camera, and all the blood comes down. But
Isn't it?
John Barry theme in Doctor No, 1962. I just think it's fantastic. It's exciting. It sets the tone for the next, what's that, 60 odd years coming up. It's loved the world over. It's okay, it's out of that big band kind of style, but it's got its own identifiable thing more than you could say for pretty much any other movie franchise. I just chucked that one out there, said that off the cuff. So that's my top one. My very, very close second one, which accompanied what was my favorite Bond film for many, many years, is Live and Let Die. And that's actually very different musically to all the ones before and the next few that come after, because it's Wings and it's got like three songs in one, hasn't
Marcus,
it? It's got
yeah,
the rock bit, the reggae bit, and the other bit.
remember, Marcus, that Wings are the official band of the Question Album Club, so that's very on brand.
You're
So,
absolutely right. So, and yeah, well, I missed the Wings episode, so you won't
wow.
hear me spouting forth on Wings ever again, probably. But I think this song is just a masterpiece. It's just fantastic. So there we go. Those are my top two. Straight in, bit shorter than usual. The original James Bond theme by John Barry, whatever it's called, and Live and Let Die by Wings.
Okay, thank you, Marcus. Very good. So, Live and Let Die was 1973, by the way. Uh, Ross.
Yeah. This has been great. I've really enjoyed it. I've done the thing many times. I've listened to these in chronological order. I've been commuting up on the train recently, and so sitting back from the first one to the last one over and over again. And I'm a real sucker for a crooner up in front of a big band. So I've been in heaven for a lot of this. I would give a shout out to the Sheryl Crow later on. I quite was taken with that, but it hasn't made my top two. Um, the number two, which is probably the best song on the list, but I'm making it number two because it sort of sneaks in there that it wasn't really a theme; it was a song at the end. It's what I think they've known as a secondary theme, and that's Louis Armstrong's "All the Time in the World." So it doesn't get number one because it wasn't the main theme. And also bringing Louis Armstrong into this is like bringing a gun to a knife fight, really, And so it's a little bit unfair to have that
That's
song.
that is from On Her Majesty's Secret Service, right?
Yeah, it was
But
it was the end.
I think that is allowed because On Her Majesty's Secret Service is actually instrumental, so I think it's the
Yes.
only vocal take from that.
Oh, oh well, I would have revised it. I'm sticking to my guns though. It will stay number two, even though it's just it's Louis Armstrong singing All the Time in the World. I mean, what more do you want? So I'm going to go for my favourite, despite my love of the big band, from Spy Who Loved Me, 1977. It's Carly Simon and Nobody Does It Better. And for many reasons. One is it's a sort of a surprise in there that you've had Paul McCartney in there, but then they go to Lulu, and then they're about to go back to Shirley Bassey, and you get Carly Simon in there. It's got that lovely little piano at the start, but mostly because it's Carly Simon, and Carly Simon is just fantastic. And to have her sing a Bond theme in that time is just that's all me buttons pushed. So yeah, Carly Simon, Nobody Does It Better.
The only worry about that is like it's an electric piano, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not a real piano. If that had been a fucking like a big grand piano, it would have been just like Swoonson. But you listen to this stuff critically. It's like no, it's really synthesized. Everything's like MIDI and but yeah, total respect.
It's that sort of period of time, that sort of region of the country that is just like my happy place. So yeah,
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Steve Gibson.
Yeah, firstly, I think to step back and listen objectively to the main theme, this is unquestionably one of the greatest bits of film music ever recorded, isn't it? It's perfect.
Steve, can I ask can I interrupt? Where did you get off? Which one presumably we all did the same sort of thing with a playlist.
We'll come to that.
Oh,
We'll
sorry, yeah.
We'll come to that. Don't worry. We'll come to that in great detail. But for me, so that's a which you mentioned. There's two that I cannot put a Rizzler between, so they'll switch and change. But it is Goldfinger because the orchestration is incredible, and you only live twice. I love that tune. I absolutely love that tune, and yeah, those. But I can't. Today it's You Only Live Twice. Tomorrow it might be Goldfinger. Well, I can't separate the two. So those are my two from the Bond thing. But I've probably got a bit more to say about where I got off, to be honest.
Yeah, Nancy Sinatra and Shirley
Yeah.
Bassey, right? I mean, that's pretty. You can't argue with those two. I love that. You Only Live Twice has got that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just magical, isn't it? It's just like, oh God. Steve Hackett, you're old enough to remember Doctor No, I presume.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. Well, I came in like most of you at the Roger Moore sort of stuff. So I'm not a massive Bond fan of the films, but the music, you've got to take it seriously, haven't you? You know, there's too much great stuff. But I sort of agree with Marcus. I think, you know, the early stuff's always going to be better. And by early, I mean, you know, early 70s, 60s, obviously. Um, because after that, it sort of became very self-referential, didn't it? As you said, they start musically quoting all the things that have been before. And I think, you know, the Bond character, as we know it, it's very cemented in the public conscience by then, you know, so the lyrics are referencing that all the time, you know. And I think,
Steve,
you know,
I think that was the whole thing about it was John Barry, right? John Barry was the
yeah,
guy who was in charge of it,
yeah,
did all the orchestral kind of arrangements and stuff. And then
mm,
in 1997, David Arnold made this kind of Bond out, which I had on CD called Shaken and Stirred,
mm,
which was kind of modern versions of Bond themes and stuff. And John Barry liked it so much, he gave David Arnold, I think Barry died in 2011, and he gave David Arnold kind of stewardship of everything. And so David Arnold has been in charge since. And of course, David Arnold, they all sound brassy and melancholic
yeah,
with little dun 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 within the melody, and they all kind of sound the same, but with like
yeah,
Adele or fucking Jack White or
yeah,
whatever, And you're right, and I think it's a David Arnold thing. It's since David Arnold took control, it's like, oh, it's like this, right? It's a melancholy orchestral pop
yeah.
song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, you know, when it comes to the sort of the 90s and noise stuff, I mean, you know, forget it as far as I'm concerned. So, favourite runner-up um, is Carly Simon as well, Ross. I just love that song. I like the ones that really don't seem to, I know she says the spy loves me in it and everything, but I love the ones that don't particularly reference James Bond more than anything, that are just standalone, beautiful songs. And I love Carly Simon, and I just love that song so much. And so
come
many
on,
great
Steve.
memories.
Are you saying nobody does it better?
Yeah, is that what it's called? Nobody does it better?
Yeah, I thought you said for your eyes only just then.
No.
No, no, nobody does it better, Carly
Sorry,
Simon.
sorry.
Which brings me to For Your Eyes Only. I mean, I agree with you, Steve. It's just, oh, you said You Only Live Twice, didn't you?
Yeah,
For Your
yeah.
Eyes Only is Sheena Easton.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So You Only Live Twice is just a superb song. See, I beg to differ with you. I think it's sort of let down by the Nancy Sinatra vocal. I know that's controversial. I mean, good as she wasn't the greatest singer. You give that to Bassie or something, and you've got the best song ever. Which brings me around to my number one choice, which of all the Bassie ones, and they're all pretty good, really, but and Goldfinger spectacular. But Diamonds Are Forever is the most perfect song. I mean, everything about it, you know, the lyrics, the arrangement, and Shirley Bassey in my mind is, you know. Her and Dusty Springfield are the best vocalists that this island's ever produced. So Diamonds Are Forever is my number one, closely followed by Nobody Does It Better by Carly Simon.
Good choice again, Steve. It's funny. I've been listening to these for the last couple of weeks, whatever, and I agree. I had my things that I always loved, but when you listen objectively for something like this, you listen to them all, and thinking actually. And a lot of the two songs that I thought I was going to go with, which were "Nobody Does It Better" and "For Your Eyes Only" by Sheena Easton. For your eyes only, that have that kind of nostalgic "Only for you." It's like there's nothing really beyond that, but the one that just as a piece of music, lyrically, dynamically, "Diamonds Are Forever," right? When the drums come in on the second verse,
It's
that shuffle,
beautiful.
that sort of swingy acoustic drums
Mm,
with an orchestra
mm.
and the whole thing with diamonds and men and all that stuff. It's just funny and brilliant,
Perfect. It's
cool.
perfect. Mm,
And the third verse gets bigger even, and that it's
mm,
so good. It's so good. I think it's
mm.
so hard I think that's the best piece of music as a kind of that is it's funny, right? It's funny, but not. It's got that whole Sean Connery. I don't know. It's just great.
Great. You would have laughed this afternoon because I was listening to the playlist chronologically, like you lot, on my walk this afternoon with my headphones in, and went halfway around the walk, and I'm just belting the fucking songs out. I am Shirley Bassey. It was absolutely, it was amazing. I hope the passers-by didn't mind, but yeah, it was a lot of fun listening to the songs again.
So my runner-up, which was a song I didn't know. There's a couple of these I didn't know. A lot of the later ones I didn't know. I've heard them obviously because I've sort of seen the films. I do think the Daniel Craig films are really good. They're all just generally good films. I think I guess everyone feels the same, right? Connery films were really good, but we were young, watched them at Christmas. The Roger Moore films, we were young. It was Christmas again. Whenever I hear a Roger Moore song, I just feel kind of Quality Street. Do you know what I mean? I feel kind of slightly sick from eating too much chocolate. Do you know what I mean? That kind of weird physiological response. Is it just me?
Yeah,
Cheers.
it's not just you.
Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so, but I hadn't. Do you know? Anybody know the Octopussy song, 1983? Any hands up? It's a song called "All Time High" by Rita Coolidge,
Yes.
and it's great. It's trying to do that kind of orchestral pop song. She sings slightly flat. I didn't know it at all, and now I love it. So that's my runner-up. And my number one. I love the beginning of Moonraker. Moonraker, it's a bit boring. Moonraker, the orchestral, it kind of sounds like a fucking Wagner overture. It just comes in, looms in. It's just super cool. It's the last Shirley Bassey one, 1979. I think View to a Kill is really good. It's really good. If you hear it on headphones, those kind of 80s stabs and stuff, it's I just like it. But my number one, I'm going with Marcus because I think it's an incredible piece of music. Apparently Paul McCartney. Um, he
Oh, what a
read
surprise.
yeah, fuck off. He read the book, really enjoyed it. It was like he's been briefed to he's got to write a song called "Live and Let Die." He literally wrote it the next day. Went in with George Martin orchestral arrangement and wings. Linda McCartney wrote it as well, and they did it in a day in Abbey Road Studio 2, and it's just mental. It's just it's I the Guns N' Roses cover is mortifyingly embarrassing. I know that "Live and Let Die" is kind of the song and the film's awful, but I think the song itself, the original song, I just think it's an extraordinary piece of music. To write that, it's just so weird. It's all the massive gliss. It goes ding ding ding. The orchestra's going ding 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 ding, and you've got the reggae section and
Did you not think though that
boom
did you
boom.
not think
Sorry.
that he could have another pass at the lyrics in the middle eight?
I'm not listening to the lyrics, man. The whole thing is just like a what the fuck. What I never get used to it now, right? We know "Live and Let Die," "Live and Let Die," Guns N' Roses, literally fuck off. I never want to hear it ever again. But listening into the context of this, it's just like it's a genuinely radical piece of music. It really is. It's just bizarre and brilliant, and just a classic. That's a classic case of you can tell how much weed Paul McCartney used to smoke in the early '70s. Listen to that, you really can. And he went in and recorded it in a day, live in this fucking studio with an orchestra. It's mental. I love it. Right. Sorry about that.
QAC never ceases to astound me how easily impressed people are on it, but never mind. Carry on.
Thank you for that, Steve. Marcus, do you want to talk
You're
to us
welcome.
about a song that you don't like?
Steve, it's like to have Steve Gibbs about patronising everybody just between cuttings there. Brilliant. Right, we're on to the ones we don't like now. Well, I'm intrigued with Ross having nearly picked out Sheryl Crow as in his cluster of gems in this whole thing because it is my it's my runner-up. It's my second worst. I know that wasn't the question, but I
Oh, I like
nearly
that.
had that as my worst song. I was really not liking it, and then I thought, well, I'll just needle Simon a bit, who sadly isn't here, and that's why I listened to the Madonna's "Die Another Day." I listened to it properly and thought, no, actually, that is worse than the Sheryl Crow song. That's the one I'm going to pick for tonight. There were several rumbling around the bottom edge, and they were all. From about 99, 98, 99 till the present day. But I'm not going to go through all of them because that's what the panel's here for. My worst song is Die Another Day. I just think it's thin, dull, uninspired, terrible singing with all those awful vocal effects. Um, I think was she in that movie as a fencing instructor? I think she was in one of them around that time.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
why there was a tie in there to do both things.
Who was who was
But
who was who was the who was the who was the Bond in that film?
uh,
Director.
that that would have been Pierce Brosnan, I think.
Oh right.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan, and there was the villain was a guy that didn't need to sleep, which isn't very
Oh,
scary, is it?
Yeah.
oh.
He just sort of looked slightly red-eyed the whole time and drank a lot of coffee.
He'd be very grumpy though, wouldn't he? Be very grumpy.
He was quite grouchy. Yeah, it's kind of it's like living or what it's like to be in your 50s, basically, with insomnia.
Not
Um,
sleeping, grouchy.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. So Die Another Day. There really isn't much to say about it. It's just a poor piece of music, and
Wait, Marcus,
lucky to get on here.
were you on the Madonna album panel?
I was, yes, I
So
was,
you've
and
had to
so
listen to
I.
that song. You've had to listen to that
No,
song
I'm
quite a
sorry.
lot.
I was not on the panel. I listened to it afterwards, and it was such an involved discussion. I've imagined that I was on it, and so I did hear Simon absolutely eulogizing and putting the album in his top 10 albums of all time.
I can't
And it
believe
was
Simon's not here. I can't believe Simon's not here to kind of vote for that again, to
well,
talk about that again.
that's what I was
Yeah,
expecting. So I did actually want a little bit of conflict here, but I haven't. But I will be
you
honest because
create,
that is what I picked, and that's it. So yeah, poor, poor, poor.
I actually like that a bit better, having heard it a few weeks ago. I thought, oh well, yeah, I quite like this one. Yeah, well, not like it,
That's
but I thought, oh, it's not that bad.
that's just
I've had that
familiarity.
before. There's not very much happens in that song, is it? Really,
It's a bit of a zero, bit of a filler.
Ross?
Yeah.
You,
Halfway through the listening in the chronological order, I was thinking I'm not going to have one here. I like them all, but then sort of like the early '80s Hove interview, honking its horn, and then we start to get patchy stuff. I was going to give an honourable mention to Thunderball on this, just lyrically, because basically the lyrics say that James Bond is a rapist in it. Essentially, it's, he can have any men he wants. His days of asking are gone. You know, it's like it was a different time. But
Different
no,
times. Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Actually, some of them, if you do start listening to the lyrics too hard, it puts it. No, I'm gonna go. I hope I'm allowed this one because the film is considered not canon, but it's from Never Say Never Again, and it's a song of the same title by Lani Hall.
yeah.
Um, it's sat that when ITV first started going through the night and they picked up all sorts of stuff from American TV in the 80s, and you'd come home at 3 in the morning and there'd be something in, and or a Brian De Palma back film come in with his Youth 80s soundtrack. It's like that. It goes on. It can't wait to throw in a minor chord just to remind you we're doing Bond here. And cool crikey, does it throw them in left, right, and centre? It's just a really terrible song. And it is even knocking Madonna out of my spot for the worst one. So Lani Hall, Mrs. Herb Halper, I discovered reading. We've Never Say Never Again.
Very good. I can't stand Thunderball with Tom Jones. I can't bear it at all. It's all that kind of 60s orchestral raspy brass, but just bad. You know, it's just like it doesn't work. I guess Tom Jones is kind of silly Welsh nonsense kind of. All right, who hasn't done this yet? Whose turn is it next? Hackett.
Yeah, worst one. Well, same as you, Ross. I was listening to them all this morning thinking, bloody hell, they're all fantastic, aren't they? But they're not. And I think, the last sort of truly great song was
Go on.
Sheen Easton's song. What was it called again?
For Your Eyes Only.
Your Eyes Only, yeah. And after that, it's the law of diminishing returns, really. So I'm not going to include any of those because it's sort of a case of take your pick. So the one that I didn't like the Tom Jones one either, to be honest with you, but it's by far from the worst. The one in my list that I was listening to, it had the theme, again, going back to Herb Alpert, which was the original theme for Casino Royale. And I'm not sure whether that's the David Niven. It must be,
It is.
because it was obviously of that time. And it just seems so out of place among all of the others. It's this really jaunty little Latin just I mean, it's just so inconsequential. It's got no weight to it or anything like that. I'm sure it's a great record and very much of its time, but I just thought it was absolutely awful. And that was the one that stood out, but I think mainly because it was,
You're
you
not
know,
allowed to choose that, Steve. You're not allowed to
oh,
choose that.
can I not?
No.
All right, fair enough. Right, was it not one of their proper films or something?
It's a non-Eon one, and it's kind of it's just not allowed. I'm just not going to allow
Right,
it.
fair dues. Okay, well then I will go with yeah. I mean, bless Madonna and her producers for trying to do something very different. They certainly did, but it's just shite that record, isn't it? It's absolutely terrible. So yeah, whatever that's called, that's the one I really
Die
didn't
another
like.
day.
It's just irritating. It will have been Die Another Day. It would have been whichever cool producer was around at the time. That tended to be the way she was working, and it's just dreadful. It doesn't work at all. So Die Another Day by Madonna then.
Sigmund
But
Freud.
really, it's her Barber.
Uh,
Singing Madonna.
Fucking hell.
I
Steve
caught that
Houston.
reference here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. This for me, it's 100% View to a Kill, because I remember because growing up.
Grace Jones.
Sorry, can I get? Why not allowed
What's wrong with that?
well, have you let me finish? I'll explain my the Duran Duran one, yeah.
Yeah.
Meeting you with a view to, so yeah. So at that point, it was quite a big deal when the new Bond theme came out because it was like there was like three channels on the telly and all that sort of thing. And I remember thinking, oh God, it was just being really let down because it's not like the classic era of Bond themes. They didn't get, um, I don't know, whoever Shawty Waddy or something to do it, or whoever the tweaky little pop crap was, they got a big gun to do it, and it was the first one for me personally that I thought, oh, they got that bunch of wankers to do it. What a waste of time. And so yeah, I loathe that song. I loathe everything about it and all it stands for, and I really that was a cut-off point for me. We're going to quick mention to the films. I quite enjoy the Timothy Dalton ones because they're apparently, not that I've read them, apparently they're a bit more like the book and a bit more. I think they needed that after Roger Moore because they're a bit more serious, those films, and I quite enjoyed them. But it,
What are the Timothy Dalton ones, Steve?
There's Living Daylights,
Living
one, and
Daylights,
GoldenEye. Isn't it?
yeah, GoldenEye,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But and then after that, because I've not really the recent ones, I sort of saw a bit of a recent one, and it's all kind of like it seems a generic action film now rather than a Bond film to me. That's probably because I'm an old man, a grey old man. But
Oh, Steve, have you not watched any of the Daniel Craig ones?
yeah, that's one of the Daniel Craig ones I
Just
saw.
one. Oh,
Yeah,
they're really good. They are really good.
oh, I might try. I
They're
might
so
try.
much better.
They just
Do we all sort of think that? Yeah, I mean, they're much,
Yeah,
much
they're
more
great.
watchable than they've ever been
Yeah.
before.
Oh, okay. But anyway, that's View to a Kill just for that reason, because I just thought that was a real step up. And I just remember, I don't know why, because it's not as if I'm the world's biggest Bond expert or fan or whatever, but I just remember feeling let down by the fact they got Duran Duran to do a Bond theme. It just seems so far, you know,
Well,
What
it would
year
get
was that movie with View to a Kill?
80,
85.
85.
So hold on, this is because contextually here, for or regular listeners will know, of course, but Steve had chosen his thrasher route by that time. So
Can people
chart
stop
pop
telling
was
me what I
really
was doing in my life at a certain point, please? Especially people who weren't there, actually.
chart pop was really, the antithesis, wasn't it, of everything you were enjoying in music at that time.
Well, yeah. Well, it still is. But
There you go.
I still have a heart. Yeah. There you go. You summed it up. Duran Duran, View to a Kill. That's right. It upset me. Yeah. So.
Before I upset any Bond fans, it was License to Kill, not GoldenEye. Was the other one.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm glad you did that.
Yes.
Mind you,
Go-
we deliberately
Gold,
get things wrong to generate some comments, maybe.
was GoldenEye the first Pierce Brosnan one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm cutting my own head.
If we're wrong, please comment.
Please like and subscribe.
Uh, my least favorite one was probably, I'm just scrolling through now. Basically everything after. I thought the Sheryl Crow one was the GoldenEye. Tina Turner was really bad. License to Kill was really bad. You could see what they're trying to do with Gladys Knight and Tina Turner, right? It was like, oh, let's do that.
Yeah.
Do you hear the garbage one? Fucking hell, garbage.
Yeah, I've
I thought the
forgotten
Chris
about that.
Cornell one was all right, actually.
Yeah.
I was really thinking I'm going to hate the Chris Cornell one. Oh, it's going to be really, but it was all right. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't the worst until I hit Another Way to Die, Jack White and Alicia Keys. To me, that's the worst because it's like trying to be Jack White with his kind of fuzzy guitar player, and then Alicia Keys. It's just like it's just not right. Although Quantum of Solace is a really good film, I thought it wasn't a Bond theme. I've got one more thing to say though about this, which is you know the whole thing about the Radiohead. Radiohead were commissioned to do the theme for Spectre in 2015, and they were paid a shitload of money, and they interrupted their Moonshaped Pool recording session to go into wherever they were, and to record with full orchestra to record the song Spectre, but it was rejected. And they went with, and apparently they were told, and apparently Sam Mendes, who was the director of that film, and Daniel Craig, big Radiohead fans, they were like really excited about getting Radiohead on board, who were huge at the time, and it was all really exciting. Everyone was really excited, but it's all got a bit murky why it was rejected. Apparently, it was rejected because they said, "Oh, we'd already done that complicated title sequence with someone else," and apparently it was Sam Smith with the song called "Writings on the Wall." You know, Sam Smith, that singer from
The Geordie guy.
yeah, is he
No,
trans?
that's something.
Sam Fender. Okay. That's my
Yeah.
knowledge of popular
Pay
music.
attention, Steve.
So yeah, so it was replaced with that. So Radiohead was just like told thanks but no thanks, and then no one knew about this until Radiohead released it on like Christmas Day 2015, I think it was, just as they just released it, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's Radiohead doing kind of like strings and craziness and weird jazzy stuff. It's just wonderful. So I just thought I needed to mention that because that is the best one, obviously. Yeah. Has anyone got anything else to say before we go to
Has
the
anyone met James Bond or
Been around your house, Steve?
Came at my house, yeah. Smashing bloke. Yeah.
I'm still reading from Seb's story actually because that just seems the most atrocious sellout by Radiohead to be commissioned for a James Bond. It's like for the most serious and po-faced band in rock music for 40 years to do something like James Bond is bizarre. I mean, there's even I think it's a Half Man Half Biscuit song that jokes about Radiohead turning on the Christmas lights in Oxford, which I think is pretty funny. But then they do a Bond film, which is kind of like, well, okay, it's a bit more than turning on the Christmas lights, but it's still a sort of like what, Radiohead. I mean, I thought they would have just turned that down at the outset. This is really odd.
Marcus, I think I hear what you're saying, but they've always been a major label band. They're a pop band. I mean, they've sold millions of records. They're just quirky. They're just a kind of experimental pop band. I think it's cool that they did it, and but if you hear it, it's like
Well, I can tell that, Seb.
But it's a
You're
really
just
lovely
fawning over
song.
the whole thing.
But they do it. But it's like a really lovely piece of music, and I think if anyone gets asked to do a James Bond theme, you're gonna say yes, aren't you? It's a challenge, right? You're gonna rise to that challenge. How can we do this, but while keeping our own kind of like counsel?
2 words.
Integrity.
Sell out. That's what I say.
That's fair. I'm just wondering. You know, there isn't currently a James Bond, right? After Daniel Craig not only bowed out, but apparently Barbara Broccoli demanded the character die, which is quite a kind of radical thing to kind of demand for your own fucking brand
Hold
character
it.
to die.
Gibson doesn't know this bit of the movie yet. You've completely ruined it for him. He
Oh,
hasn't
well,
seen No Time to Die.
Well,
That's
Steve,
right.
it's quite controversial, right? Because at the end of the last film, right, James Bond actually dies, and
Does
they
he?
made it. He actually dies, and it's the end. It's like, and it's like it was literally a big black line under everything. That's the end. He's dead. That's the end. And then Amazon have bought the rights, right? So Barbara Broccoli was like, "Well, I've got no." So Amazon now own it. They haven't decided what they're going to do, but it's going to come. So, is anyone aware of the odds for the next James Bond actor?
Oh.
Anyone
Is
aware
it
of-
Tom York?
Okay, number one, odds on 5-4. Current favourite is Callum Turner. Number two is Jacob Elordi. Number three is
Okay.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Number four, is there any point? There's no point in continuing this list. Let's just go.
He's not interested.
Is Sam Allardyce
What-
on this somewhere? He normally-
What's more interesting is Bodie was lined up for the James Bond and he didn't get it, so he moved to Australia and became a computer salesman and drank himself to death, and he never really got over the fact he was overlooked for Bond.
Who?
Bodie from
Bodie and Doyle.
Lewis Collins.
Lewis Collins. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Bit of an extreme
Hold on.
reaction for not getting cast in a film, isn't it?
Sorry?
Bit of an extreme reaction for not getting cast in a film.
Yeah, well, that's what happened, you know.
Well,
Anyway,
it's
Exactly
yeah.
like for the later films when Bond was an alcoholic, wasn't he? The sort of Daniel Craig ones.
well, he
Is
was.
he an alcoholic in them?
It was meant to be. I think that was. I mean, I'm not a massive. I've got a hand, cards on the table. I'm not a massive Bond fan, but I think that was the idea, wasn't it? They're going to sort of portray him as a more flawed character
In
than
the
this.
in the books, he's always an alcoholic, but it's just obviously
Yeah,
on the
that's right.
on the big screen, less. So
Mm.
with Daniel Craig, I think he wanted to get back a little bit more to what the books were like.
Bit less of the undoing the zipper with the magnetic watch and a bit more fighting the baddie.
Those like the good old days.
Yeah. We need to do a favourite song. We need a song for the playlist as well.
Well, I think it's Live and Let Die, isn't it? Because I think me and Marcus both chose that. I
Yeah.
think everyone else
Okay,
chose different
okay.
ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Enough.
So I think that'll do for Bond. Thanks, everyone. Steve, it's your choice. The next record. What are you choosing for?
Yes, I got caught on the hop a little bit with this because I only looked at the WhatsApp a couple of hours ago. So what I'd originally, I remember a few weeks ago, I thought, well, I planned to go a bit off piste, but I don't want to fuck it up again like I did before. So I'm going to stick with something I know and love. And I don't know whether you do too, but it's the wonderful, truly, truly remarkable Captain Beefheart. And someone I've been listening to, since the late 70s. I mean, I absolutely fucking love Beefheart. I just think he's amazing. And of all of his truly remarkable canon, the two sort of outliers really are the ones he did in 1974, which are regarded as the sort of commercial stabs. This is quite often the way, isn't it? Unconditionally Guaranteed, and this one.
Blue Jeans and Moonbeams.
Jeans and Moonbeams. I've chosen this one because it's a little bit more varied and a little bit more interesting, I think. So that's it. Blue Jeans and Moonbeams, Captain Beefheart, 1974. Enjoy.
Good choice. It is indeed the most derided commercial sellout Beefheart album. I do have a copy, but I haven't listened to it for many years. We haven't done Beefheart at all. It's a good choice. Good call.
Nope.
Can I just tell you a slightly weird thing? I knew you were going to pick Captain Beefheart. That was the one artist that came into my mind.
Really? I mean, maybe it's a bit, we haven't sort of talked about that type of it yet, and sort of stuff.
That was really odd. I should have written it down to prove it to you all, but it was, yeah, honestly, it was right through my mind before you said anything.
I think there are one or
Anyway.
two sort of albums that you can pretty much, it's a safe bet they're going to come up at some point. But, there you go.
Marcus, do you like Beefheart?
I don't know Beefheart. I'm really excited for this. I'm going to do a deep dive. I'm going to do a Ross English on this one.
Very
The whole thing.
Very
The whole
interesting.
damn
It's
show.
fascinating.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. You have to be on the next one. Ross, just very quickly, do you know Beefheart? Are you a fan of Beefheart?
Yeah. I only own one LP, which is the obvious one, Trap Master Records.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, I
Oh,
do
that's
like
fun.
it. Yeah.
I see. I don't need to ask you this, Steve, do I?
No.
No. Okay. Great. Thanks for listening, everybody. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Cheerio.